Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility and Comic Book Geezers. This is a special show we're going to be running on both channels. This is all about the new Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League film, which is streaming right now on HBO Max. I've got Chris Allo and Rich Catino over from Sea of Tranquility. We're here from Sea of Tranquility. We're also on the Comic Book Geezers now, regular guys on the Monsters Den show and various other musical exploits over on the Sea of Tranquility channel. So all three of us have seen Zack Snyder's 4-hour cut of Justice League.
4 hour, 2 minute.
4 hours and 2 minutes, right? We don't want to forget those 2 minutes. So spoiler alerts, guys. If you have not seen the Justice League, all right, Snyder's cut, you may not want to watch yet because we're gonna give all sorts of stuff away here. We're gonna talk about the film, what we liked about it, what we didn't. We're gonna kind of maybe touch on some of the things that happen in the film that makes you think, and talk about rumors and all that kind of stuff. So you're gonna get everything here. So like I said, if you haven't seen it, you may want to wait. If you have, listen in, join the fun, put your comments in below, what you thought of the film, what you think should have happened, could have happened, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, which one of you guys want to kickstart us off? Rich, your opinion of the film.
I liked it a lot better than the theatrical cut. Yeah. It makes more sense now. But with like everything else with these, it's all Warner Brothers, correct? That's doing all these DC movies. Is it all under Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, Aquaman.
Yep. Everything DC is Warner Brothers.
Batman, Batman vs Superman, Man of Steel.
Yep.
Everything that's been in this universe, because can we really call it a universe? Because as we've learned from these movies, and when we were talking about the Godzilla movies, why is everything disconnected? Right? That's the one thing that I had a problem with when I was watching this, because then I was like, what if they don't do anything with this afterwards? Why are we getting this now? I mean, it's great to have it, and then you have, I mean, I guess I can say who we see towards the end, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, now you were so excited to tell me and Pete, what was it, the Martian Manhunter?
Yeah,
that was one of the things. Yeah.
So did you not know though that Martian Man? Because like it was the guy that played Martian Manhunter, who was the general. Like it was leaked like a year ago that he was supposed to be.
I never
supposed to be, but then they never put him in it, and then.
Well, they did, but we didn't see it till now. But that's why he was in Man of Steel, because he was supposed to be Martian Manhunter. So is that what you were so psyched to tell us?
That was one of the things, because you actually got to see him. But right. I thought also too. Yeah. I thought also though that we were supposed to get Green Lantern, at least one of the two guys.
We were, and in fact, it was shot. I don't know if you guys heard this. This just came out the other day. Because I got what's his name? Zack Snyder, obviously. It's the cough medicine. He was given some money to do some reshoots. Right. So one of the reshoots he did, spoiler alert, he said he hired a famous, well-known black actor to play John Stewart, the John Stewart Green Lantern. And he shows up at the end to have a conversation with Bruce Wayne, and with Martian, like after no.
This is totally
separate.
Okay.
So what happened was when Warner Brothers saw it, they were like, no. They were like, we're doing a Green Lantern TV series, I think on HBO Max. So they're like, you do whatever the fuck you want. Make it a 4-hour movie, have this, have that, have the other thing, but you cannot have Green Lantern. So Zack Snyder was so mad that he was going to junk the whole thing. And then he's like, well, that's not right because the fans wanted it, which is right. Yes. So then he did another shoot where he had the other guy, and I can't remember his name, the guy from Man of Steel. He brought him back again for another shot as the Martian Manhunter, which is, to me, is so, like, I think it's cool, but it's kind of fucking ridiculous since we're talking it now, because I like the movie, but that's one of the negatives. It's like, okay, wait. So there's all this destruction going on Earth, and we've got the super powerful John Jones Martian Manhunter, and he's just like, hey, listen, I didn't help any, but for the next thing, give me a call. Got it? It's like, what?
But that was my problem. Like, I thought that was really cool that he shows up. That was one of the things.
Well,
But they
yeah,
also
for a fan, that was cool because like
Yes.
finally we get to see him. But to Chris's
Right,
point,
'cause
so
they
why were
talked
you
about
sitting
it.
on the sidelines, right?
And
Yeah,
if you guys
they talked
remember,
about
not to jump in, but if you guys remember the original posters for this movie before it came in theaters, it said Unite the Seven. So we knew the sixth, the seventh was Martian Manhunter. Okay, we finally seen the director's cut. He's still barely in the fucking movie, and he's not united at all.
Right.
He comes to see Bruce Wayne when he's
It really
sleeping.
should have been or Lantern too. One of the two.
Totally.
Guys.
Yeah.
So with that, you got that, and I was hoping to see another Lantern in the movie to lead into what would have been the next movie, because that's what putting Martian Manhunter is in there. You're presuming that you're going to get something else, maybe. You know, and with the credit, the after credits, or what was that called?
I don't know what it's called.
They didn't say after credits. They called it something else.
The nightmare sequence stuff.
Yeah, dream sequence or
You
whatever.
thought it was over, but it wasn't over. They said something. It was a title that they gave it. Remember when you see
yeah.
when you see Lex getting out of prison and Deathstroke's there?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, there's the two versions of that.
Yeah. So all these things are, giving you this hope that you're going to get another movie that's leading to something else, and you're not getting that because now everything you see online is that they're not going to be doing anything with the Snyderverse. It's done.
Right.
So you're getting all these teases for what could be in the next movie, and then now they're going to follow it up, just like all the other DC movies. It's like all these standalone movies and nothing's connected. But meanwhile, you're throwing us these little bones. You got Martian Manhunter showing up. You got Lex getting out of prison. You got Deathstroke showing up, right? So why throw it all out there? You got Joker shows up in the nightmare sequence, and then you're not going to do anything with it. That was the frustrating. That was a frustrating thing for me.
I think if they would have released this film, whether it needed to be 4 hours or not, I don't know about you guys, but I thought the 4 hours went by pretty quick. It really
did. I didn't think it was boring at all.
Seemed like a laborious 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you just release this the first time? I mean, I get it. He had to leave the picture. I get it because of tragedy going on in his end and all that kind of stuff. But then why do you bring in another guy and you change everything? Because these are two completely different films.
Yeah.
It's like night and day.
I think the only thing that played out the same was when Steppenwolf was fighting them for the last battle at the end of the movie. I think aside from Superman in the black suit, everything else, right, pretty much played out the same way almost. There was a few things here and there.
Yeah, the final battles, there were some similarities. They left.
Yeah, I mean, because the Joss Whedon version, which was the theatrical version, does have some of the Zack Snyder footage in it. Yes. I mean, I actually want to go back and watch that version again now, even though it's not as good. I mean, I remember seeing it in the theater and thinking, okay, it's all right. It doesn't suck. It's better than Batman versus Superman, because I really didn't like that. But I thought it was okay. But after seeing the Snyder cut, I'm like, yeah, no, this is much better. I still think it's too long. I think 3.5 hours or maybe 3:15, and there's a lot of fat you could trim. I mean, like the part when the girl is smelling Aquaman's underwear and all the Norwegian girls, whatever the fuck they are, they're singing that weird song to him, and it just goes on and on, and all the slow motion sequences.
It's like, dude, I was going to say that too. Too much of that stuff.
Like you could make this 3:15 like that, So, and I think that would have.
The film was great because I think it needed to have Darkseid to explain, and they left it open at the end where if they would have released this the first time around, boom, you set it up for 2-3 more movies.
Well, I don't know if you guys have seen any of the videos. There's a guy that does Screen Crush, on YouTube, and he explained all the stuff that was set up because apparently Zack Snyder's plan was Justice League 2 and 3. We weren't going to get Green Lantern until Justice League 3, which I think is nuts.
Exactly.
But part of the whole thing that I think that I didn't like with the nightmare sequence thing was that supposedly Superman tells Batman to protect Lois Lane, but then he doesn't somehow. Darkseid kills Lois Lane with his Omega beams, and then gives the anti-life equation to Superman, which causes Superman to go bad.
Right.
But then you find out that earlier, when Superman was dead, Batman was screwing Lois Lane, and she's secretly pregnant with his kid. That's why Lois Lane has the pregnancy test. And I'm like,
that's a little far-fetched. Yeah,
it's a little far. I'm like, all right, now wait, Bruce Wayne can have everybody, but he's got to nail Superman's old lady. I'm like, I don't know about this. Now we're getting weird now, guys. Yeah. But the whole plan was that then it was something with because we see when the future Flash comes back and says Lois is the key, but that doesn't mean anything. So then future Batman tells future Flash, come back to tell me the kid is really mine, so then I'll really save her. I'm like, this is nuts.
It's too much to think about.
Too much. But it is really interesting that if you compare it to Endgame, it's almost the same thing. Yeah. Like literally, like, obviously Thanos was a ripoff of Darkseid, but it's like, okay, wait. So the villain comes, he invades, he destroys the world. 5 years go by, and then the heroes have to go back in time to set everything right. It's the same exact movie.
Yeah.
Same exact movie. And, a buddy of mine is like, him and I are on the same page. Like, why can't we just get the Justice League versus Legion of Doom? That's all I want. That's all I want.
Make
why
it too complicated, right?
Why can't we just get the Avengers versus the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants? Something like, make it simple,
Yeah.
But
it's
overall,
more epic than their competitors, right?
Right. What's bigger than big? Yeah. We destroy the world and then go back in time to save it. Okay, all right.
What I really loved about this film is that they cut out a lot of the stupid jokey shit.
Yeah, true.
Yes,
I thought bogged down the other film. I think that I really did not like the Flash character in the Joss Whedon version. I didn't dislike him in this version. I think they kind of, he still had a little bit of that real nerdiness and quirkiness to his character. I also, and they cut out the scene where he, lands on Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Just ridiculous.
Brunch. No more talk about the brunch.
Yeah, exactly. Aquaman wasn't quite as a dick in this film as that he was in the theatrical version. What I really was very happy about in the Joss Whedon version, there was this antagonistic relationship between Wonder Woman and Batman, which they totally brushed aside in this original vision. Right? Because remember, they were, Bruce kept like making fun of her about, holding on to lost love and all this kind of stuff. And she was in the other film, she was completely against bringing Superman back. Right? Yeah. Here, she not at all. So then a whole scene where they're, he's all banged up and she comes in and they share a drink together in the theatrical version. Didn't even go there in this, didn't need to. They were on the same page throughout the whole film, which I thought was kind of cool because I never thought they needed that. That was almost like that was like kind of forced. But but I thought like all the characters came across better in this film. And Cyborg.
Well,
you got to know who he was.
More backstory to him too.
I was gonna say, I mean, with 4 hours, every character, from the heroes to the villains, everybody had more motivation, and you knew who everybody was and the backstory, and that really made it more enjoyable. And absolutely, Cyborg, holy shit, he had nothing to do in the original, and he's the one that chirped up and said Joss Whedon is a scumbag, and you gotta wonder, maybe he really was, or was it that he was so pissed because he literally, like, this is Cyborg's movie, but in the theatrical version, he might as well be a can opener. He's got nothing to do, but in this movie, he's R2-D2. I mean, he's the fucking guy that saves the day over and over again.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's the most important guy.
He's the most important guy in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got all the tech. That's why he's able to infiltrate everything and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So it really is amazing. He's the one character that had a complete, and now you have all his backstory and motivation and everything.
Right.
Because
and I don't understand.
before they released the other film is that they didn't do separate films for all these characters to introduce them. So
Right.
you know who they are. They just threw them into the film.
Right.
You didn't know or didn't care about any of them. Now you were able to do all of that in this film without having those separate films.
Totally.
Right. And connect Steppenwolf to Darkseid as well. Like, why couldn't they put Darkseid? Why couldn't you put Darkseid in the other cut too? So you know he's there.
Yeah.
Not even mentioned. I don't think he was even mentioned in the other movie, right?
Was there? I was going to say there was a mention of his name, but I think that's it. But even the the beginning of the movie, that it's Superman's death cry is what opens up what turns the mother boxes on. That is such a huge plot point. Why would you cut that out?
Yeah.
You know, in the theatrical cut, it's just the mother boxes, they just turn on like an old alarm clock with a little bit of battery left in it. Whereas in this one, you see the Superman's death cry, and that's what turns the goddamn things on, because Darkseid was afraid of fighting the Krypton. Like, that's genius. That gives us explanation.
And Wonder Woman taking the arrow that was shot.
Yes.
And puts that into the wall to open up the door, and then she sees the image of Darkseid there, and you know that this monster is coming, and she's afraid of him too. That was a great scene as well.
I mean, everything played out better.
All in details, right?
Yeah.
All in details.
Yeah.
And I thought the special effects look better.
Yep.
Steppenwolf, I thought he had a cooler suit. I think
He had a way cooler suit, a cooler face.
Shined him up a lot. Very shiny.
Very spiky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Be hard to sit in that suit. I'm just gonna say that.
Well, I think from what I read, I think Snyder actually had to put like an additional $40 million into this to finish.
Yeah, it was a lot.
You know, so crazy, right?
Yeah,
just unfortunate.
I think one of the worst things though is the running time, because I enjoyed it enough that I would like to go back and rewatch it. But 4 hours and 2 minutes to me is such a commitment, which is nuts, because if you think about it, it's really only 2 movies, and I could do that with my eyes closed, and sometimes I do. But you guys know what I'm saying, like, to do another 4-hour movie again, I'm like, if it was 2 hours or even 3, I think I'd put it on again, because I've seen Endgame and Infinity War a lot. But I don't know, the 4 hours. Yeah, I'll watch it again.
I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
Are they going to release that on Blu-ray or 4K at some point?
I believe they are. And there also is coming the black and white version, which I don't know why, but Snyder thought it's very effective in black and white. And the rumor I heard, and I don't know if it's going to be true, is that the black and white version may have that Green Lantern scene. May. Who knows? Because I know HBO Max is going ahead with a lot of superhero stuff, and a Green Lantern is going to be a big budget TV show.
Wow.
Like, if he's going to be on a TV show, then why not introduce him in this? Like they were
because it's not going to be the same Green Lantern.
But he's still a Green Lantern, though.
Right, but if it's not this Green Lantern,
yeah.
So the Green Lantern that they did show in this film, was that Quarthog?
No, I don't. It was
because they showed
there is a comic
you
one.
said there was a John Stewart that they were going to put in. You said
in the final scene, yeah. But Pete's talking about the fight from 1,000 years ago with all the armies, that Green Lantern. But I think in Screen Crush they named it. He's from the comics. I don't remember his name though.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like an animal kind of creature guy, whatever. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was very good.
A future with this, then?
No.
They put the kibosh on this. That's it.
Yeah. The story, everything that's been coming out. I mean, Walter Hamada is like the head of Warner, and he's like, that's it. They're going forward. I mean, they're supposedly going forward with Black Superman, and they're rebooting Superman, and they've got a Green Lantern TV show, and you guys know we're getting Batman played by the guy from Twilight.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's going to be a Flash movie coming out, supposedly with Michael Keaton and supposedly with Ben Affleck in it. So, I mean, the whole thing is that now we are in the multiverse.
That's what they said in the Snyder cut as well.
Yes. So which is the same thing Marvel's done. That's why we have, the TV shows and the movies, and everything can exist now, which I kind of like, because if you go back 15 years ago, to me, the greatest animated series of all time was Justice League, and then it became Justice League Unlimited. But the reason they canceled that show was because whoever was running Warner Brothers at the time was like, well, we can't have an animated TV show with Batman and Superman on it when we're going to come out with a Man of Steel movie and a new Batman movie. People will be confused. And at the time, the people at Cartoon Network were like, are you fucking kidding me?
They think everybody's morons, right? Yeah.
Right. But now it's different executives at Warner. So now they're like, fuck it. Put Batman's, make him black, white, yellow, make Superman a fucking robot, do whatever you want. Bring back Ghost of Christopher Reeve, do this, do that, do whatever. Dig up George Reeves, make him a robot, whatever.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But yeah, there's no plans.
Cartoon, that Justice League animated series was great, and the Batman animated series was great. I mean,
that whole thing was amazing. But yeah, there's no plans going forward to do any more Snyderverse stuff. But listen, never say never, because even Snyder said, listen, until a year ago, we weren't getting the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
So now we got it. So who knows?
You know what? If they release a Blu-ray 4K DVD package that sells gazillion copies, if HBO Max has gotten millions of new subscribers to watch this,
right,
100%. And if the Batman with the Twilight Kid tanks, and if the Black Superman tanks, they're gonna go, hey, you know what? Maybe give Zack Snyder a call. Maybe we'll do something there.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. It's all about money.
Yep.
The weird thing is,
do you guys know if Darkseid was played by a person? Was that all CGI?
That I don't know.
I know
the voice of Desaad. I don't know who plays Darkseid, but instantly I recognize the voice of Desaad as Tony Todd from the Candyman movies. But I don't know who played Darkseid.
The voice.
I wasn't thrilled with Darkseid's face. Like, I thought it should have been, I don't know, a little tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nitpicking.
It looked a lot like the original Jack Kirby depiction of Darkseid.
Okay.
In the early.
I'm probably thinking more Super Friends. So maybe that's what I wanted. Superpowers, Super Friends. But
but both. I mean, Thanos and Darkseid so similar. I mean, they're just Marvel. Really
very, but I'd always take Darkseid over Thanos.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it was a good flick. I enjoyed it. It did move pretty good for a 4-hour movie, and I think the second 2 hours has a lot more action than the first two. The first two is a lot more exposition.
The second half just is like a freight train, man.
Because I know a lot of people have said, oh, well, maybe they could have split it in 2 movies and put it in theaters. I'm like, nah, the first half is just it's not enough action.
And if you would have done that, pretty long too. With that Batman has the Joker in it. That's a pretty long sequence too.
Oh, the ending.
Yes. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken,
over, it's not really over.
That sequence was one of the only like brand new shoots for that. And of course, I think it's fascinating that Zack Snyder said he wanted to stick to his original vision, which is why Mera has a British Madonna accent, which I think is funny, and that carries through the whole movie. And his original vision was to have this whole nightmare sequence, which is going to tie into Justice League 2 and 3, which now we're not getting. So it is kind of funny that he could have wrapped everything up in a nice little bow. But listen, maybe in the back of his mind, he's thinking, hey, let me put these teasers out there just in case they can whet their appetite for a little more.
So the ending nightmare sequence was then shot and edited during COVID over the last year.
Yes.
I thought so, because if you look at Deathstroke, what's his name? Joe
Manganiello.
Right.
Manganiello.
He definitely looks older
than
he did in the ending scene in the Whedon film that was released.
Right. And I was starting to mention that earlier. If that's the other thing too, that's very interesting. If you, in the theatrical cut, when it's Lex Luthor and Lex Luthor, sorry, not the terrible WCW wrestler, Lex Luthor and Deathstroke are talking. In the theatrical cut, they're teasing the Legion of Doom. In the Snyder cut, it's a different scene, but the same setup, but they're teasing the Batman movie, which was canceled because Deathstroke was supposed to be the villain in the Ben Affleck starred and written and directed Batman movie, which was canceled, which I've never read the script, but a lot of YouTubers have read the script and are like, oh, this would have been a great Batman movie, which sucks that we didn't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I forget because it's been a while since I've seen it. So in that final sequence in the theatrical cut, was there a third villain there, or was it just Luthor and Deathstroke?
It's from what I remember, it's just Luthor and Deathstroke.
Yeah, just the two. Okay, all right.
Just the two of them, and they're like, we need
They
a
were
league of our
talking about
own.
getting a team together, though,
Yes.
right? Yeah, that's what I remember.
Which is cool because I would love to see that more. I would love to see a superhero movie where it's not every time it's not the end of the world. Just give me a heist and two superhero teams fighting.
Yeah.
You guys know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get that at some point.
We'll see. I will say I don't really like Jared Leto as the Joker.
I liked him more in this than in the
Suicide
Suicide
Squad.
Much more. Suicide
Yeah.
Squad, he looked like terrible.
He looked like
Awful.
garbage. Yeah.
Awful.
And I don't like what's his name as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, it's not my favorite either.
I mean, I think they should have went with. I know he's old, but Clancy Brown. I mean, he did the voice in the Superman animated. I mean, he's a big guy. Shave his head. He's perfect.
Yeah. 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 Well, and cool to see what's his face playing Commissioner Gordon in this. Which I
Oh, right. Yes.
and
Yeah.
he's playing J. Jonah Jameson again for Marvel.
Right.
It's like,
But he was in the theatrical cut in the Joss Whedon version. Excuse me, but even that was stupid because there was a part where like Batman captures one of the parademons. Either version, I hate the fucking parademons. Why didn't they go with the old school superpowers version, which were scary, look like alien hyenas? Instead, they go with these goggle looking fucking guys.
Yeah.
And Batman blows one of them up, and the guts from the explosion of the alien happens to look like a picture of the mother boxes. I mean, that was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
Well, a good time. It was a good.
Yeah.
It was a
It was
good.
definitely good.
Yeah.
Worth checking out.
Definitely makes you want to wish for
The pack of sandwich.
at least one. Definitely one other movie. I want Dark Side. I really do.
Yeah. You got to have the big dark side war now. It's like you tease it, and now it's like,
Yeah.
we're all sitting here like, all right, got to continue, right? Well, who knows? Never say never, right?
No doubt. Well,
Never say never.
Yeah.
Never
In
seen
the
it.
meantime, if you haven't seen it, definitely go check out the animated film Justice League Dark. Was a War of Apocalypse?
yes, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War is very good.
Man,
Yeah,
that is intense.
brutal.
Oh, that is intense. I got to tell you, DC has knocked it out of the park for the most part with their animated.
Their animated stuff really good.
I
Yeah,
have most of them. They're great stuff.
Yep.
They're really good.
They just can't get their movie verse together.
yeah. It's a little tough.
It's all over the place. Like what's going to happen now with The Rock and
Oh, Black Adam.
Black
I think that's shooting soon.
how's that going to
And
fit in?
I just
I was
heard.
going to say that. I was going to say, how's it all going to fit into this? But who cares at this point? None's fitting into anything.
But I just heard one of somebody was going to be in it with The Rock. Oh, I just heard Pierce Brosnan is going to play Dr. Fate in Black Adam. I think I heard that. And I thought,
Yeah,
that's pretty
the
cool.
Justice Society is supposed to be in it, right?
I think so. But I'm like, all right, that's cool. And that's
Maybe they'll tease him at the end, and then there won't be another movie.
that could happen.
There's supposed to be a second Shazam film, right?
Yes. Yep. There's a second Shazam movie.
Second
This year we're getting the Suicide Squad reboot / sequel, depending how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Is that the only other? Is that the only other DC movie this year? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So there's a couple things coming up.
At least I got stuff coming out. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what do we got?
And then we got
is Black Widow. Have they made a decision on Black Widow?
Yes, that's coming out now. I think they said in July, but it's coming out the same day in theaters. You can also watch it on Disney Plus, but unlike HBO Max, where you get it for free, you can watch it on Disney Plus if you have the channel and pay an extra $30.
Mhm.
So yeah, I will not be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may just go to the theater. It's
I'll just go to the
July.
theater.
Hopefully by then we can go to theaters.
Yeah.
And feel okay about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
All right, everybody. There you have it. Some discussion on the new Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. If you haven't seen it and you're still watching, now you know the whole fucking film. But go
We
check it
just
out.
saved you 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's
It's
definitely
worth
a good
watching.
time.
It is much better.
Yeah. And if you have seen it, feel free to comment below. Let us know what you think. And for all of you comic book geezers fans watching, join us over on Sea of Tranquility. If you're a Sea of Tranquility fan, go join us over on Comic Book Geezers. This video is running on both channels. So I want to thank Chris and Rich for joining me here on this
Thanks,
Justice League discussion. So make sure you subscribe, everybody, and leave a comment. And we'll see you all real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.